Lincoln's Husker Radio, 1400 AM and 94.5 FM. KLIN presents Meet Your Huskers. Brought to you by Security First Bank.
And welcome back to another edition of Meet Your Huskers. Today we're talking to assistant coach Chris Harriman. Now coming here obviously from quite a distance, from Sydney, Australia. I guess what's the biggest difference for, say, a foreign player that's looking to come here and play in the United States versus maybe staying at home in Australia or in other locations where you've recruited guys from?
Well, it's the little things. The culture's obviously different. Everyone talks about. I haven't recruited a whole lot of Europeans. It's been more Australia and New Zealand, so the language barrier is never really an issue. But in terms of just the little things, I tell people all the time the bread tastes different. The TV shows are different. You guys have got a million channels.
We do.
So it's just a learning process, adjusting to different things, understanding college and how it works, the academic side of things as well as athletics. So it is a big adjustment. I tell people it takes 3 to 6 months before kids get adjusted to it.
Now, before this, you were over at St. Louis University coaching under Rick Majerus. Coming here to a school that's in a major conference versus what was at St. Louis, I guess, what was kind of maybe one or the two of the biggest differences you noticed right off the bat in coming here?
Well, I'll tell you this. The A-10 is probably the fourth or fifth best league in the country, so it's a good league. We had 4 teams in the NCAA tournament last year. We were one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the biggest adjustment to the A-10 here is, night in, night out, it's just a grind. There's good teams every single night, no matter what. Even a team like Penn State, who hasn't won in this league, is still a good team. In the A-10, every now and then you get that 1 or 2 games where you'd have a little bit, you knew it was going to be an easier night. There are none in this league, and we hope to continue to get better so we don't become one of those teams that other guys look forward to.
Now, coming from Australia, basketball is not the biggest sport there, but obviously one of the big sports. Were you into more than just basketball growing up, or has it always kind of been basketball for you, and that's the way it was?
I'm hoops, man. I'm hoops all the way. Both my brothers played rugby, and they convinced me to play, and I played one game, got knocked out, and my basketball coach never let me play again, so that was it for me. But yeah, it's just hoops, man. That's been my thing the whole time. I've played since I'm 4 years old and been around it my whole life, so love it.
If you got one or two famous recruiting stories that you kind of maybe share with other players that you're looking to get to come play for you, what's always one or two that always seems to get the most attention or seems to get the most positive feedback?
G-rated or I-rated?
We'll keep it G-rated if possible. Okay.
Well, when you work for Rick Majerus, you got millions. I don't even know where to start with him, but I've done a lot of different recruiting. I've actually recruited more Americans than I have international. I recruited 11 kids at St. Louis, and 8 of those were Americans. So been all over the place, been all over the world, and when you travel Rick Majerus, I spent 10 days with him in Australia and traveled everywhere to different cities and took him all over the place. And even in a place like that, they still know who he was. And he had no reality. He didn't understand that, and we were lucky enough to venture into different places, Chinese restaurants all over, and he's just amazed at how many people recognized him. And I will tell you this, we did a home visit at a young guy by the name of Cody Ellis, and he's a senior this year at St. Louis, hell of a player, starts for him, leading scorer, really good. And we lost Rick for a while there. We didn't know where he was on the home visit. Come to find out, he was wandering around looking at people's rooms, looking at posters and trying to get a better idea for the kid. That's just who he was. He was a different kind of guy. So there's a lot of different things when you work for a guy like him who's so unique. And mind you, the guy we got here is pretty unique too. He's a different guy as well. But great personalities, fun guys to travel with, fun guys to recruit with. So it's been a good time.
How's the family kind of adjusted to life here in Lincoln? Everything going A-okay?
They love it. They absolutely love it. I have 2 kids, 5-year-old and 4-year-old. And, when I first came here and stayed here, I didn't know if my wife would be a huge fan of Lincoln. Obviously, it's small. We've lived in big cities, Miami, St. Louis, Sydney. We've lived everywhere. But the people here are the best I've ever been. In the city of Lincoln, the state of Nebraska, it's incredible. I've never been around better people anywhere I've lived, including my home, as far as people that just bring you in, look after you, treat you like you're one of theirs. So it's been phenomenal. I love Lincoln. I love the people here, and I'm a big fan of all sports here and definitely all the people in the community support. So it's been great.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on. Chris, thanks for joining us today on Meet Your Huskers.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.